Hey traders, welcome back to the FXE YouTube channel. Just wanted to do a quick update following Monday's price action. So after the weekend video, I was hoping Monday's price action would give us a better idea of what to expect. To a certain extent, maybe it has, maybe it hasn't. I haven't seen enough yet, but it has done a few things to give me idea of what to expect. So if we start with DXY on the 1 hour time frame, this vertical line right here is the start of the day. So what happened at the start of the day is we were up here, we came down, we filled the volume imbalance as I was anticipated, but then thereafter I was expecting a push up, break of structure to the upside, and then maybe a pullback with the volume imbalance supporting price before further continuation to the upside. But unfortunately, as you can see, that's not what happened. Instead, what happened is price pushed down, broke the lows, so created a structure break, pulled back, came into the order block. There was a fair value gap right here and then an order block just above it that it tapped into, and thereafter it came right back down. But instead of pushing down and continuing further, it came back up and consolidated in this area. You can see the whole time the order block was respected. The newly created order block was respected. And then a few hours, 2 or 3 hours before market close, you can see we started to push back down. We haven't broken structure again, so this will be my confirmation that price is definitely going down. But as of right now, what I can see is we are seeing breaks of structure and we are seeing bearish PD arrays being respected. So my expectation as of right now, seeing what I see on the chart right now, is for potentially a pullback, maybe a break, and then a pullback into maybe unmitigated areas on lower time frames before continuation to the downside. And if we don't break structure first, then we just may have a pullback to mitigate areas on lower time frames where we have bearish PD arrays, and then breaking structure and coming down. And my expectation is, I'm thinking this news week low will probably be the draw on liquidity, and then we'll go back to the daily range and look for PD arrays within that daily range, and you can see OTE will be just below that news week. And we do have some unmitigated areas here. This fair value gap was fully mitigated by the news week. We have another fair value gap here that was already mitigated as well. So the next area of interest for me at least is the order block. So we have the order block right here, which is right around the 70% retracement level. This area makes the most sense for me if price continues bearish short term before reversing and pushing up and targeting the highs. Now if we look at EU, so EU is, I guess you can say, similar. The only difference is we saw a little more seek and destroy, but what we can say is bullish PD arrays were respected. So on the hourly time frame, this is the daily open. The daily open candle was right here. We started to show some signs of strength. At Japan open, we had a pullback, and sorry, let me get rid of that. We had a pullback right at Japan open, and then price impulse to the upside. There was a breaker block entry here, sorry, in this area. I marked it, you'll see it on the lower time frame. That was my entry for longs, but unfortunately it wasn't a great entry because I got stopped out on that candle right there before the actual move of the day happened. And as you can see, the move of the day happened in Asia. This was the largest range that we had, whereas London just played around and New York played around even more. It was really choppy today, so really an awful day to trade unless you had a really good entry at the extremes, which I had for shorts. I had both of these entries taking price down, and for the longs, like I said, I'll go to the lower time frame. It's a little more difficult to see on the lower time frame on 15 minute, but let me go to 5 minute and you can see it a little clearer. Oh, and I don't know if you saw my weekend video, but what I said during the weekend video is this wick, the wild wick right before market close, was actually valid because it did exactly what I was expecting. It cleared the internal liquidity, came into the order block, and then reacted, pushed up, and then had a couple mitigations before continuing to the upside. So my idea for Monday was to look for this area to get swept again before looking for longs. But as I mean, knowing that this wick happened 2 minutes before the market closed, I didn't trust it. So I felt that price would come back down again, and I would look for that manipulation to take price to the upside. But unfortunately, this was valid. It did its purpose, manipulated or liquidated the internal liquidity, mitigated the order block, and thereafter pushed up. And then you can see what happened after the market opened. We started to show some signs of strength. Pre-Japan Open, we had this pullback, and this was actually the manipulation that was mitigating the lower end. So you can see this equal low area. It came and swept that into the wicks, and thereafter once again showing signs of strength right before Japan Open. So right before Japan Open, you had that last pullback into the order block, and then right before Japan Open, you had the push up giving the signs of strength, and right when Japan Open, you had the pullback right into the order block, which could have been used as an entry. The reason why I didn't enter there is because it was Monday, and I wasn't sure if the timing was going to be Japan Open or 30 minutes or so after Japan Open. So I didn't enter right away, and plus I was also thinking it could still come lower, but as it didn't, it broke the highs, and I was looking for a breaker entry, but unfortunately my breaker entry wasn't so good. I was actually towards the top of the breaker, and on this pullback right here, it actually stopped me out break even. So my break even is always a few pipettes above my entry, and I got stopped out. And unfortunately missed the entire move, and this was really the move of the day. I really missed the move of the day that I could have taken all the way into premium. So anyways, not really much I can do or complain about that, because what happened here is at London Open, I was able to get in on the shorts. So on this manipulation, when it started to impulse down, I entered a short, took it down, was maybe 70% out in this area, because it was chopping around, and my expectation was further push to the downside, but I wasn't seeing it. So I took more profits off, I think, on this push down, and then when it started chopping around more, I was actually quite surprised when it broke the high. Regardless, when it did break the high, I did see an impulse down, and once again I was thinking, okay, maybe it's just manipulating the highs and it's going to come back down, because my bias was we're going to push to the downside and target the lows. So I entered a short again, took it down all the way to this level and was mostly out here. Again, I was expecting further continuation to the downside through New York, but as you can see, New York was just chopping. It was chopping up and down, and then after that you can see this consolidation where thereafter just the bullish PD arrays were being respected more and more. It wasn't really breaking higher and higher, but the PDAs were respected. It was showing more and more impulsive moves to the upside, and then thereafter pushed up. Hasn't broken the highs yet to give that extra confirmation that we are in fact going to go up for a bigger pullback today. But regardless, if we do break this high prior to Japan Open, or do a pullback first, I will enter longs. As I said, bullish PD arrays are being respected. We did have this seek and destroy in this area, but you can see the stronger moves are to the upside. So looking at this current range, most of this has been balanced, so mitigated. The only area I was seeing that wasn't mitigated on the 15-minute time frame was this, but on the daily rollover it actually came into this, so I'm a little unsure where to look for longs, but I'll probably look in this area, one more pullback within this area, and if it's right around Japan Open, I'll look for longs there. So the moment we start to have a reaction with an impulsive move up, I'll get in on the pullback. So in terms of targets, same as what I said for DXY. I'm looking at the bigger daily range now because I'm seeing the news high as potential draw on liquidity. There isn't really much in terms of targets though, because as you can see, we had the hourly fair value gap that was completely mitigated with the Newsweek. The order block here was mitigated. The order block here was also mitigated. So most of it has already been mitigated. We have an unmitigated or partially mitigated fair value gap up here. It's maybe 50% already filled. So may not go back up to there. Moreover, it's to the extreme. Yeah, I can go there, but the more probable area is right around the 70% area. So that's why I'm thinking, yeah, we tapped the order block before, but maybe coming deeper into the order block, the 1 hour order block here, and then from there have a reaction and potential reversal. And obviously, if we are able to get there, so either we go and break the high and then come for a pullback around Japan Open and then continue up into OT, deeper into OT, and I would like to see this as a draw on liquidity, whether it's just there or continuing higher into the order block, and then start to see like some kind of a shift in this area to take price down, and our target is the equal lows. And from there, the likelihood we continue down is quite high. But if you check my weekend analysis, I did add a potential bullish scenario. And it would actually make more sense if we start to see more and more signs of strength by pushing up and breaking this Newsweek high, coming deeper into the daily range, and then pull back, because it's showing more and more signs of strength. And because of that, there is some potential to see a potential bullish scenario here. So if you're interested in that, check out my weekend analysis. It's actually at the very end, the last 5 or 6 minutes. I added like an addendum to the video when I thought of this idea. So it is my potential bullish scenario that you can check out later if you're interested. So anyways, this is what I'm looking at today. Yes, it can just come down from here. That's always a possibility. But looking at how structure is forming right now, I'm thinking it's more likely to push up higher. To what extent? I mean, it's tough to say, but I'm targeting the Newsweek high as a draw of liquidity before we start to see a shift in reversal. And again, the target for shorts is equal lows. And whether we continue down or not, I mean, we'll see when we get there. Okay, anyways, that's my update for today. I would like to hear your ideas as well. So if you have some ideas and are willing to share them, please comment below. Otherwise, I'll see you for the next one. Peace. Hey, you made it to the very end. Thanks for that. If you could do me one more favor and click the like button and subscribe if you haven't already, it'll allow the YouTube algos to kick in and help this channel grow. Thanks again. Cheers.